Yo guys, welcome back to another Five Nights Tower Defense video, and today we are going to be checking out the glitch puppeteer, but with absolute max support, and see how far he can make it into Endless 3. Let's get right into it. Alright, we are here in the game, and let's just go ahead and start it off simple with some witch chicas. But yeah, so even though Crying Child doesn't directly support towers, they do support towers by slowing down the enemies, which actually helps out towers a bunch because they have more time attacking the enemies. And of course, the other two supports, Hawaii Endo and Spring Bonnie, just make your towers perform a lot better. So I did have Puppet's Nightmare on Glitch Puppeteer for a while, but I actually did the maths and it seems like Puppeteer actually has better DPS with the Withered enchant than any other enchant. The only real downside to not having Puppet's Nightmare is not having the absolute max range. But honestly, with Withered and the Shiny Hawaii, obviously, it's good enough range. As you can see, it's covering most of the actual map. I think I should actually move him a bit closer to this side so we get these little portions of it. So probably like this would be the best placement. Yeah, that should be perfect since it is basically covering the whole circle and whatnot, and covering all of these exits. And this one shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'll for sure have a Crying Child here. I can go ahead and put Crying Child in the range booster, and that should work out perfectly. He's gonna slow down this whole entire lane, and we don't even need Puppet's Nightmare on them yet. Now I went ahead and basically just did the same thing with this Crying Child, and he is slowing down these two lanes, which should help out a bunch. So this will probably be our absolute best placements. This guy isn't going to be hitting the entirety of this lane, but at least he's hitting the entirety of this lane. And if I put him here, he's going to be missing a portion of both of them. But I think having him at least hit all of this lane would be the most helpful. And of course, he's still hitting the rest of the track. I am going to go ahead and delete the Witch Chicas now because they're not a support. They're just actually helping out with the damage. While that is technically supporting in the game, it's not what I need. Crying Child is basically just going to put a halt to this entrance, which is a very dangerous one as they can easily go to the exit very quickly, and the puppets will focus on the rest of the enemies first. So far, they're still one-shotting everyone. I think we'll be one-shotting everyone until around wave 100, where we will be getting actually high HP towers. I feel like there is a high likelihood that Glitch Puppeteer will actually solo all of this by themselves, just with the supports. But there's a chance that my setup won't work just because I don't have him completely maxed out and I don't have Shiny Crying Child. I think Shining Crying Child won't have the biggest factor, but Shiny and Vengeance on the Glitch Puppeteer would have a huge factor. They haven't really teased any buffs for Crying Child yet, but they did give one in terms of buffing the slowness on the Shiny version, which is honestly huge and is the reason why if we can't beat this, then I do feel like getting him as a Shiny would help out a lot. Alright, and we are one away from wave 100, and even though this whole thing has been extremely easy, this is where the difficulty will crank up by a lot. I think I'll keep that Crying Child there for now. But yeah, so what's really nice about this is that these guys basically have like full range of like the whole field, so I'll never have to worry about replacing them for their max potential, basically macroing. But I will probably have to for Crying Child if I want the max potential, because their range is not infinite. But honestly, it's looking pretty good. Like, the Crying Child slow is actually extremely good. I'm pretty sure that their slowing is better than other slows. I would have to assume. Like, it's slowing them down more than other slows would. But yeah, the slow is helping out a lot. Also, I'm noticing that pretty oftenly they are surviving with a little bit of HP. because of how the glitch puppeteer's DPS works, where they're doing like the most DPS, but they're taking their time with shots instead of doing like damage per like 0.01 seconds or whatever. So that's gonna happen where some of their shots is gonna be overkill. I think now would be a good time to move the crying child here, and he will be able to like switch to this guy as well if he ever needs to. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and place him down. There you go. But he's covering this whole little area, and he's just gonna stall this guy, who is basically a pretty big problem since he gets to the exit really fast. And then whenever this guy gets close enough, crying child would retarget and slow that guy down. But seems like the glitch puppeteers are killing this guy right here fast enough anyways. And yeah, I think we're actually going to make it to wave 120, which basically means that there is no stage where glitch puppeteer would just lose them. Like, once you have him all maxed out with double supports or just triple supports, they can just beat any stage at all, except of course for the extremely high HP endos that we will be seeing here in just a moment. But I actually do want to see how much damage they're gonna get off on those endos. But yeah, these guys are doing extremely well. Even though this isn't like the fastest way of doing this, it's still very impressive for them. This is a good showing of their full potential. Like, these 3 units are just letting him shine. So I was thinking of doing this exact same setup for very weak towers who might not be able to like beat FNAF 3 or whatever. But I also had this idea that like technically no character has proven to beat FNAF 3 endless by themselves, and glitch puppeteer seems like the perfect character to do that. And yeah, this is what I'm trying to test out right now. I wasn't completely expecting him to beat this all by himself, but it is seeming like that is gonna happen though, so we will for sure take that. Honestly, the crying child is a huge help in this, especially since they have the range boost. It's making this a lot better. Like, it's making the crying child a lot better with their support, because honestly their main issue with the slowing is that their range is limited, but it's not seeming like a very big issue with the shiny Hawaii support. So I'm thinking like a very similar setup like this would probably be used to beat like any future stages that prove to be too difficult to beat. And this is a pretty difficult one by standards. So I've already like beaten FNAF 3, Night 6 in Nightmare mode, basically having this guy carry. So I think this stage might technically end up being harder. And I did that without using Crying Child, but I think for this one I actually would need Crying Child. The main issue that makes this difficult, honestly, is the 4 paths that are leading to the exit. And since this crying child is actually slowing this guy down who is extremely close to the exit, and they obviously have to focus on this guy and then just let the other guys just get close to the exit, it's very like bad for us. But crying child obviously solves that solution by slowing them down and basically just stalling. Like, we're just focusing and dealing with 2 to 3 entrances, and then the 4th one that is extremely close to the exit can just be ignored for a bit. But yeah, they're actually getting further and further, so there's a chance that I don't actually make it to 120. But these guys only do 50 HP, so we can actually take a hit from this, so that can be used if necessary. Looks like the enemy spawned a little early this time. I don't have auto skip on. They let this guy get by a little bit, but I think he's still gonna die. I think this balloon boy should also stall them perfectly, where if they actually do end up getting far enough to here, they should be grouped together because of the crying child, which only makes this glitch puppeteer even better. And that's another thing, like the way this map is structured just kind of like, it doesn't take advantage of glitch puppeteer's true strength in the fact that they are a splashing tower. I think the crying child should focus on this endo once he gets close enough, but he's gonna die anyways. we might be able to see the splash mechanic right here. Oh, and of course I should be looking at their HP, but they're at 220,000 right now, which is absolutely insane. And will we see the mechanic right here? They're not quite close enough. Now they should be, yep. And that's just gonna make it twice like faster. There we go. These guys, because of the crying child focusing on them, they actually got pretty far. We might actually take some damage here. Oh, they're focusing on these guys. Okay, that's good, because crying child should be able to stall them and group them together. It looks like the slowing ability actually like stays for a little bit, and then the crying child, like, you see that they're basically perfectly doing it. And then now both of them are getting slowed down, and then now both of them are getting splashed. That's extremely strong. So even though it looked like a close call, the fact that crying child is also an AoE slower and that these guys are splashing as well, we just took major advantage of both of those abilities, and we just survived even longer. Looks like this might be a little scary though. I think this crying child is going to do exactly the same thing, where he's going to group up these guys and focus on this guy. Yep. And then the splash should be activating very soon. Yep. He's close enough now. Oh, he looks like he's not close enough again. And that guy is going to die right before he makes it. And then these guys are getting cooked up. So is that 280,000? Yeah, looks like we still got one more wave to go after these guys, but they're obviously making it pretty far now. They're getting like a boost of like 20,000 HP, and since there's 4 of them, that just really adds up. We can take 50 damage still. I really want to move this crying child now. Let me go ahead and see if I can quickly do that. Yep, there we go. Very nice. And the only thing that can, like, we can't lose here, honestly, because we can take a little bit of damage, and looks like they locked onto these guys anyways. Yeah, and we can let this guy pass by. So it looks like the max HP we have to deal with is 280,000, and of course these guys are at like so much HP. Oh my god, I think that's 5 million or 500 million. Yeah, that's 5 million. I think it's just 5 million. Can you at least kill this guy? Looks like we're gonna have to let him pass. Oh wait, we killed him last second. So we took absolutely no damage while beating all of the waves in Endless 3. Of course, we do end up losing anyways. Oh, it looks like they do 75 instead of 50. Okay. How much damage have we been doing? Still a good amount. That's actually like practically enough to kill another one of those endos. And yeah, it just immediately teleports you back to the lobby. But yeah, that was pretty impressive. That honestly shows 2 things. One, that having the crying child as a support is still really strong, and that triple support is also extremely strong, and that Glitch Puppeteer is obviously extremely strong. Just everything about him is what made that possible. His highest DPS in the game, the splash was actually a factor that helped us survive even longer. The range was really crucial, like being able to constantly hit all those endos no matter what, and without me having to macro and stuff. It just shows how useful and broken the Glitch Puppeteer is. But yeah, either way, very impressive from the supports and from Glitch Puppeteer. Anyways, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.